Hello everybody and welcome to the Tiger's Den. Welcome back to these Tiger Chats or whatever you want to call it. I am for once on script, so let's just dive into it. Recently on a stream we had a wonderful conversation about ranked gameplay, and the reason we came into this was because of an incident that happened in a game where two gearings went down the middle on two brothers and turned around and came back. This without getting anything done and or accomplished. They put down smoke and that's it. Meanwhile, on my flank, I was struggling to hold up 5 people on my own because the two gearings left and we had an AFK Hindenburg. Had I had the gearings for support, yeah, we might not have been able to hold that flank for the win, but we would have been able to area denial or prevent them from steamrolling it. The two gearings are the reason why we lost that game. I don't often credit the loss to one teammate or one division, but this time I did. Now, this is where I should underline. I am not the world's best player at all, and I'm also an advocate for people that should be able to do what they want in a game in order to have fun. That is, after all, why we play games. We play to have fun. And Lord knows I've done plenty of that stuff myself. I've probably been the cause of several losses myself due to doing stupid shit. But this sparked a thought in me. I wish we had 2 separate game modes in World of Warships. One for randoms and one for ranked. None of this seasonal bullshit. The seasons, well, actually you could have seasons, but that's a different matter. But the seasons where you lose stars are possibly the single most toxicity causing element in this game, because people scum it. All you need to do is farm damage from A1 and stay slightly alive longer than anyone else. Staying in A1 and farming damage almost guarantees you that. Well, not really, but it does paint the picture that you're all too familiar with. What Warships needs is a ladder. A long one. Like Dota or League of Legends or Rainbow Six Siege for that matter. You have ranked game modes where people are in agreement that teamwork is paramount. The object is to win. It's not to have fun. The team effort is to win. It's not for the memes or tells. These should be kept in randoms. Like, sitting here writing this script, I did also think of another thing that was brought up on the stream. How do you determine who gets a star or points or whatever? If you let it be based on who wins or not, then it ends up being full of people not pulling their weight or hoping for the best. It needs to be based on personal performance. I know this is going to be a bit of a stretch, but hear me out. We all know the current classes in World of Warships, but have you ever sat down and considered that not all cruisers are suited to give close range support for the battleships? Not all of them are suited to hunt down destroyers, and while we're on that subject, not all destroyers are suited to be running for the caps or spotting for that matter either. There are, after all, destroyers out there with roughly the same stealth range as a cruiser. So how do you say who is filling their purpose? Who is doing their part for the team? Albert Einstein once wrote, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." I would say that is fairly apt, and then again, the fish would also get a failing grade. Just as if you judged a monkey by its ability to survive underwater for any period of time. Now, I know it's not a perfect analogy, but it works for the purpose, and I would say that every warship is good, but if you judge a Smolensk by its ability to bow down to Yamato, see where I'm getting at? Keep in mind, this is just an example though, and we might have to tear away from preconceived notions of how things are going. I would also say that a Kleber is not a scout. However, if you judge the Kleber on how well it hurts other DDs that pop up and try to sneak up, and maybe even light cruisers, then maybe we're starting to talk about something that makes sense. Another example is like the Republic is not very tanky, but the Kremlin is. The Republic really shines when you get to use its guns in a long-range battle, laying down the hurt on other battleships or cruisers or different types. Son of a bitch. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was wonderful. Thank you for that. Fuck you, phone. God damn it. Of course that had to happen. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's continue. So, if you judge a Kremlin by its ability to snipe, then nah, it's not a very good ship, is it? However, if you judge a Kremlin by its ability to tank, we're strictly talking archetypes here. An archetype to define your role and your job on a team. This allows us to say if ship type Scout has done 1500 amounts of spotting, this should lead to more XP for the Scout than, let's say, if a Sniper did scouting. Sniper would get some XP, or Sniper would get the same amount of XP for dealing damage upon others' spotting. Just now, because I have to go off script a bit, just now I'm thinking, what if you're alone? Well, alone is a bit of a different story, but that's beside the point. We're talking about archetypes dealing with other archetypes. Like a Sniper would get XP from spotting, for doing damage upon other spotting, and doing damage on ranges above, let's say, 15 kilometers or whatever. Like, it's a bad example, but it is to illustrate a point. This would lead to the ability to give stars and ranks for those who do well, even if you're on a losing team. Like, it would also, in my head, lead to a more natural check and balance of ship types again, because we used to have that. Destroyers countered battleships, battleships countered cruisers, and cruisers were the doom of destroyers. But Tiger, where are the CVs in all of this? Nah, I hear you, but that's a completely whole different video. But I am in favor of a more passive role for the carriers. More tactical, more supportive, counterplay. We'll cover that a different time, but there's a different way of using CVs and all this. But how do you counter a Sniper? Another Sniper, or something sneaky enough to get around the defenses of the other team, or possibly a really annoying wall of smoke that makes it unable to see through, or maybe even airdropped, who knows. But fulfilling your role is the best way of ensuring team play. How do you get others to realize and know your role? Well, that'll have to be covered through better in-game training and information. Differentiate between ship types. Fair enough, there will be some hybrids, but this is where captain and module builds come in. Like, if I build my Massachusetts for secondaries, then using them and brawling should be what gives me more points. If I build them to be tanky, then tanking damage and absorbing that damage for others should be the main way of judging if I fulfill my role in that ship. I think it would lead to more people taking pride in knowing how to utilize their ship even better. Ship X is a tank, then what angles do I need to know about? How do I hide my weak points? I know we're getting awfully close to an area where World of Tanks is, but at the same time, how good does it feel to be able to use your tank to its full potential in World of Tanks? Because you're able to know about your weaker sides and protect them. Anyone familiar with World of Tanks will maybe shudder or gleefully sprout sounds of joy when I say tortoise sitting on a corner, hatch hidden, gun blazing. Couldn't be touched unless you got around it with a proper counterplay. Having these roles and removing the entire save a star removes another thing from the game that has been a prevailing trend for too long. Oh no, my pixels are getting hurt. They're fucking pixels. Pixels, they're virtual. We shouldn't have to struggle in a ranked game because fucking Johnny Smith has a fear of scraping the paint on his virtual Yamato. This is where I get kind of controversial. If we have a system based on personal performance, what happens when you are unlucky in a game, but your team still wins? Well, you're fucked. No points for you. But at least you know you didn't lose anything because of your bad luck or your team didn't function well together at all. There is no I in team, and this is true. But for a game where you rely on so many others for a win, you can't rank a player based on win or loss. You need it to be personal performance. It's not perfect comparison, but in a game like CSGO, you can still rank up even in a lost game, as long as you did well on your team. The matchmaker would also have to play a big part, but when you have archetypes of going in, you say, okay, 12 slots. Matchmaker does a random draw and says, okay, we're going to fill this team with 2 tanks, 1 sniper, 3 support, 3 scout, and 3 brawlers. Then you work with that. Then you have that to work with. Then it picks from the queues and finds ships with those roles. And instead of ship type, like battleship to battleship, then it picks roles. It picks archetypes. Then it's your team's job to work with what they're given. This is how skill about your ship and knowledge about other people's ship is brought back into the game again. You need to rely on others to be able to do your job. And if you do your job, you enable others to do theirs. Yes, I've ranted for way too long, so let's sum up the ideas. Change ranked system away from losing ranks. This for the sanity of random players and ranked players. Let randoms be fun and derpy. Let ranked be about team performance, but judge a player by its ability to use their ship, not about others' ability to use theirs. Don't punish people for having teams that do not know how to play. And please, change the way we are rewarded XP. Anyway, I've been Tiger. You guys have been epic. Thank you for listening. But as always, keep wild, stay free, and I'll see you guys in the next one.